Well done to them tonight. Jordan Henderson was very good, wasn't he?
Excellent. Excellent again. Came back in from the Southampton game. Skipper again as usual. I thought his running off the ball as well was excellent. Yes, Fabinho will get a lot of credit for being that midfield destroyer as such, win a lot of passes, getting on the ball and spraying it wide. But it was quite easy to play that role tonight, particularly in the second half, because Porto dropped so deep. Jordan Henderson ran forward a lot, which I really like to see. Sometimes you don't catch it all on camera because you're following the ball. But I thought he made a really big difference today, and he was involved in the goals, which was great to see as well.
It's interesting, you know, a couple of seasons ago when we started covering European football, there was always an element of nervousness, wasn't there, around Liverpool in big European competitions. They look so, and Jurgen spoke about it this week, about how experienced they've become under him in these big nights, these European games. They look, tonight, so in control.
Well, 2 European finals in 3 seasons under Jurgen Klopp is not to be sniffed at, is it? And, of course, in the quarterfinals now, in a great position to go into the semi-finals. Liverpool have always suited knockout football, I've felt, certainly under Jurgen Klopp. And, you know, it's going to be an absolute disaster if they go out from this position now. Fully expect them to be in the semi-finals. And it's, when I come to Anfield, I just can't see I just think Liverpool are so strong, in so much control. I can't see really any team at the moment in Europe, in the world, coming here and dominating.
And
this
if you feel that, the players must feel the same. They must feel
fans, it's just
so comfortable at this stage of a competition.
I think everybody feels that when Liverpool play at home, they'll win. And I think that's why Porto, particularly at half-time, that we spoke before about their dressing room team talk at half-time, they changed in the second half and they dropped deeper and they thought, let's keep it at 2-0. That's what they thought, let's see if we can hit them on the break. But it was few and far between in the second half. Liverpool, probably their final ball in the second half wasn't as precise, wasn't as good as it was because of the confidence of winning 2-0, of leading the game 2-0. So, but they never looked as if they were ever under any pressure, I thought, particularly in the second half. And you'd always feel, and the players must feel, and Jurgen and the fans must feel, we'll go there and score, we'll go there and score. And if you do that, the game's out, you know, it's untouchable for Porto to get the victory then.
And if you're looking for perfection, of course, you'd say it'd be lovely to have more goals this evening, just put that second leg to bed. But actually, the flip way of looking at it is credit Liverpool for coming out so well, starting the game so well, getting that lead, which Porto then felt they had to just sort of shut up shop.
Yeah, they dominated right from the start, and it could have been many more goals. I actually give Liverpool a lot of credit as well for not being so gung-ho and risking the fact that they could lose a goal in the second half. And this was early on in the game. First goal, brilliant ball by Milner. I love the way Firmino just comes out and helps his mate here. He realises it's not a cross for him in many ways to score a goal from, so he thinks, right, I've got to link this. As we see again, that great ball from Milner. But I just love this. When you look at Firmino, he could run in, be selfish, almost try to get that goal, but no. He sees the ball's not in the right position. And the ball as well. The ball back to Kate. Look at that. He's telling him, you need to take a touch and take it away. If he just rolls it for a first-time finish, he gets closed down straight away. The ball has got, you know, as many words on it as you want. It's telling him, here, take a touch. I'll hit it into your hard. Take it away from him.
And it was interesting. You two were having a little conversation at 2-0. You were saying, I'd love to play in this team, and you were saying I'd hate to play against this team. The movement, particularly,
the energy levels is excellent, isn't it? We've always spoke about this. This was the second goal was a really nice goal, and Porto have just shut up shop for a minute, so they think. But you see Marega, as I said, it's no real fault of his, but he gets the rest of his defenders across the line in 6s and 7s because he goes forward, leaves Salah, doesn't pick up Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's very precise. Firmino does well to stay onside, and it's a lovely little tap in for him. And once that happens, you'd expected Liverpool to go on and score more, didn't you? That was the only, if you could have any mild criticism of this performance today, was that they got too early on to a certain extent and didn't capitalise.
Well, they created the chances, didn't they, after that? But it was just a case of not taking them.
Yeah, there were a few good chances in the game from both teams. And a couple of decisions, really. I think Mo Salah here, he decides to cut across the defender. He decides to take him out the game. But once you do that, you lose a bit of your speed. Watch this now, it almost kills his speed. So straight away, that takes out the going round the goalkeeper. He's not going fast enough. So he's either got the dink or the slot. You know, Casillas stands up quite. I think he's gone for the right finish. It's just a poor execution, really. Here, I think he makes a great run to free up the space, but then I think he needs to make another run to free up the space again and across the front of the post. And Firmino, I hate saying hit the target because, you know, you've got to be precise, but that is such a hard skill to hit the target. You're never, ever going for precision there. So you've just got to try to get right over the ball and smother the ball and keep it low. And wherever it goes, fine, but just make sure you keep it down. Easier said than done. It's a really hard finish, that one.
What were your thoughts on Mo Salah's performance tonight? There's been so much talk about the goals that he's scored and how far he is down on last season's total. But another example tonight of how his play helps other players around him get the numbers.
Well, it does. I can't really sit here and criticise Mo Salah at all. Take last season out the equation. You look at him now and you think, wow, this is unbelievable. His numbers, his assists, his goals. As I mentioned earlier, he's one behind Aguero in the race for the Golden Boot. He's a danger in Europe as well. So he's having a brilliant season. It's just everyone's comparing him to the numbers of last season.
And this time last year, you know, against City, particularly against Roma, he was electrifying, wasn't he? The goals he was scoring, the one he stuck in the top corner. The one that I thought he was going to do today, where he did dink it against Roma last year, I thought he was going to do today against Casillas. I thought he was up against the real, not Alex Telles, the left back. I thought he was poor, but he was up against Militao, who I thought played him really, really well today. Whenever he ran inside onto his left foot, the centre defender was right onto him, and I thought it was a decent performance from him defensively. I don't think he was at his best, particularly in the second half, but I don't think a lot of Liverpool players were because of the defensive formation that Porto employed. I
think sometimes we get so caught up in looking at the result or looking at the numbers of goals you score. Actually, we sometimes forget that even if you lose a game or don't score a goal, a team or a player can still perform really well. We lose that sometimes, do you know what I mean?
And on the flip side as well, sometimes someone has an absolute stinker and scores a goal. I did it quite a few times. And you score a goal and you get the headlines, and really, you know deep down you play poorly. But it happens both sides, and some people can play really well and not make a goal or, you know, an assist or score a goal. So I think I like to watch a game and try to trust your eyes more so than looking at the hard facts.
If I offered you a bad performance and a goal,
I'd take that.
Yeah, every time. Thought so. Team player, Michael Owen, everyone. Should Mo Salah have seen red? Let's join Phil Dowd again. Phil, there was an incident in that second half where you very quickly said that's a red card as far as you're concerned. So just explain to us what went on with the VAR officials, because we've been led to believe that they would then look at that and make a decision.
We have no idea, you see, Phil.
Yeah, you're probably right. I was under the impression that they were looking at it, but then didn't think it worthy of an official review. I've watched it again 3 or 4 times, and my opinion is, as we're looking at it now, is that it was endangered the safety of the opponent and should have been sanctioned with a red card. I heard the other way, was it just reckless? But the way Salah comes in, he's over the top of the ball, he catches the player. I think this angle's the worst one, and I think that should have been a red card.
Even if they've looked at that and thought, it's not quite bad enough for a red, VAR has the ability to just tell the ref to give him a yellow in that situation, or does it have to be used for a red?
I'm under the belief that it's just a red card.
Right.
For me, I thought they would have asked him to review the situation and had a look himself, but obviously nothing come of it.
And something else which I think we should discuss tonight. We've heard a lot, haven't we, about it has to be clear and obvious for VAR to get involved, unless it's a red card incident or a goal-scoring incident. But something like a handball needs to be clear and obvious. There's incidents tonight, tiny little brushes off hands, and VAR is suddenly, we know that VAR is suddenly reviewing it and looking at it. So what do we have to just forget this clear and obvious thing? Have UEFA just thrown that out the window?
No, it's got to be clear and obvious. I mean, we looked at the Trent Alexander-Arnold one in the first half, where we've had a look at the one Rose at Man City. I think Lovren was another one. For me, they weren't clear and obvious handballs, apart from the Rose one, of course.
So why is VAR looking at those then? Why are they not?
Because every handball in the penalty area has got to be looked at, just to make 100% certain that we haven't missed anything.
But they actually did review, though, didn't they? The Trent Alexander-Arnold one actually got reviewed.
It got reviewed, and the referee then they decided just to play on. It wasn't worthy of the referee looking at.
OK.
I think it just gets a bit confusing. Certainly in the second half, there's about 3 occasions. The Dejan Lovren handball, which wasn't a handball. Then the penalty appeal for Porto, which wasn't. Then they ran right down the other end, and it was that Mo Salah challenge. We could get it all because we're sitting here in the studio with monitors, but the general public who pay, they have no idea what is going on, and I think that's the confusing part. There's still a lot of teething problems, isn't it? Yes, we're finally getting to the decision, but you can see even the Porto players were complaining they wanted to go to VAR for the challenge by Trent Alexander-Arnold here in the box. So it was all a little bit hit and miss, really. It was a little bit disappointing, wasn't it? Personally, I thought.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard. I think, well, for the start, I think we've got to make sure that the paying public know what's going on straight
100%.
away. That is the first thing that we've got to do. Of course, everything will come and get better over time, but the people that are the most important people in the whole thing is the fans. Everyone needs to know what's going on.
Yeah, OK. Echo that, absolutely.
Yeah.
They've got no big screen of that, have they? So they can't show the incidents and all that.
So it's Liverpool's fault, is that what you're trying to say?
No, nothing's Liverpool's fault. Thanks for your hard work tonight, Matt. It's a really good point, that, isn't it, about having different ways to attack a game. And you now look at the games to come. This Liverpool team are in such a brilliant place right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you couldn't. It's poised, isn't it, perfectly for a huge run in on both fronts for Liverpool. 1 foot into the semi-finals already, you know, and I think what Matt's getting at there is Liverpool have, you know, we all know their strengths: winning the ball back high, hunting in packs, attacking with loads of speed. It's great. I think that Liverpool can defend a lot better nowadays, of course. So if they are under the cosh, they can sit deep. Look at the goal against Southampton, the third goal. You know, you're defending the set piece and then on the counter-attack. So there are a variety of ways probably that Liverpool can play now. Certainly look a lot stronger at the back. But it'll never change in that their front three are three of the most dangerous players in the world of football, and combined they're possibly the most dangerous trio in world football. So that won't change. They still need to play to their strengths.
It'll be interesting to see how Firmino is. I thought I saw him limping down the tunnel at the end of the game. Hopefully he's okay. But they got Robertson back as well. He'll come in, won't he, next week?
And they got a little rest for Matip. Wijnaldum had a rest as well tonight. It just
Lovely came in and
feels
played
like
90 minutes,
they're just in control of everything here.
I
The
think so,
players
yeah.
are fit. They're resting people at the right time. They're winning games that matter. They're controlling
we're being very
matches.
picky, aren't we? The fact that they've only won 2-0, why not win 3-0 or 4-0? But it's still a great result, isn't it? It's still a brilliant result in the quarter. We're talking about the quarter-finals. Every game should be nice and tight. But because of the opposition and because they were at home first, we expected so much more. But, you know, now they're huge favourites, as Mo rightly said. They've got 1 foot in the semi-final. They can concentrate now on Chelsea. Where other teams
Only 1 foot.
Well, I think so.
1.5
I mean, I'm
feet.
very confident that they should go through. I think they'll score next week, and I can't see Porto scoring 4. I really can't.
OK, right. Thanks for your company for now.